Chloe Sunderland has had a fat dose of woke tea. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. A fat dose of it. And she decided to generalize and shit talk a shitload of Republicans. And then she backpedals. So let's go ahead and jump over to the comment section right now. All right, so here we are in her comment section. Please stop commenting on how I need to vote for Trump because of censorship. One, I live in Canada. Two, I've always done my best to keep my political opinions to myself. Let's watch her elaborate on that now. But I don't support a man who lied to his country, caused insurrection, and continues to lie while his organization gets broken down via people who go to jail for tax fraud, or a man who bragged about SA women. And I don't give an F how many followers I lose for saying this. I would rather cut off my C word than have the majority of my supporters be Trump supporters. If you are that stupid, that's not my issue. And if I lose followers for that good, you're probably the type of person I'm trying to wean out. I said what I said, and if you don't support me, you guys can argue about it all you want in the comments, but I would rather that you unfollow me if it's that big of a deal. Thank you. So, she generalizes Trump supporters, she generalizes Republicans, and then she triples down on this whole thing like I hate you if you are a Republican, or if you support Trump, so unfollow me. She doubles and triples down on that. And a little bit later after that post, people were giving her backlash, obviously, right? People were like, what the hell? Why are you generalizing all of us? We're not all dumb. We're not all idiots, blah, 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 so on and so forth, right? And then she goes on to say, this woman has a different opinion of me. She's a chameleon. Some of you need to relax. And if you guys haven't watched Think Before You Sleep's video on her, it's pretty close to a quality breakdown. Some of the stuff I don't agree with, some of the stuff you guys will agree with, and vice versa, whatever. But he called her a chameleon, which is absolutely the case. But let's get to her apology now. So after all of that doubling down, she decides to put out an apology. All right, don't laugh at me, but I spoke to one of my mamas and she says that I owe you guys an apology. Laughing emoji. Quality apology already. People's political opinions shouldn't divide us, and at the moment I allowed it to is the moment that the door of conversations close and things stop being progressive. I shouldn't have stigmatized people by insulting them if they support Donald Trump. I was simply irritated at the people telling me that the resolution to censorship is voting for Trump. It's not my belief, but that doesn't mean that I have to be rude about it. I worked very hard in this movement to keep an equal and diversified. I think she's missing a word, but that's fine. People are always painting men's rights movement as white supremacy in self forums, and I work daily to try to end that stigma, which is true. That is definitely a true statement, right? I even did it with the MGTOW stuff, right? So, I'm not above admitting when I'm wrong. And, if she was just admitting that she was wrong, this would be perfectly fine. But the laughing emoji and a little bit later in the apology, it just goes back, right? But at the end of the day, I should have acknowledged that just because somebody has a political belief, it doesn't mean that they're bad people. Exactly. And doesn't mean that they need to fit into the stigma. So I do apologize, and I'm glad I spoke to my mom because she always reminds me of the woman that I want to be. So once again, I apologize for making that judgment. So she's apologizing once again. I may not like Trump, but that doesn't mean that I have to be so rude about it. So she's kind of saying the same thing she said in the beginning. Listen to your mamas. They always have your best interest. Wait a minute. Even the ones that are addicted to drugs, that are deadbeats, that are losers, that, pawn their kids off, that collect a ton of child support and won't let the fathers see their children, those mamas have the best interest too? I'm just wondering if that was another generalization. I still stand by the fact that I would be very disappointed if the majority of my followers were Trump supporters. The backpedaling and then the double down. And of course, the comments were basically saying the same thing. They're like, you're an idiot, right? Directed to my need of diversity, and I should feel confident in the movement and the people in it. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to call out misogyny and racism. It just means that I can't stigmatize everybody as a misogynistic racist if they support Trump. So once again, I apologize. You definitely have to accept. Come on. But I hope that you understand where I come from and understand that I'm sincere with a heart. A sincere apology doesn't have laughing emojis to start. You know what I mean? Right? There's no laughing emojis to be involved in that, right? It's just, that's not a sincere apology right there, Chloe. Come on. right? If you think that people are going to believe that to be sincere, then you are sadly mistaken, right? And the wokeness continues a little bit farther up her community post. You guys can go take a look as well and see for yourself, read the comments, see what people are saying as well, because people are getting pissed off. And I would be too, right? If I supported Trump, or if I was a Republican, I would be pissed off too, because you just generalized the hell out of everybody for no reason, right? Just a blatant attack, a quick, just instant switch up, right? Absolutely insane, right? I'm very much centered and I can see good on both sides, right? There's good things on both sides. But let's take a look at this. I'm really excited for the changes I'm about to make. I haven't been feeling much pride in my work as I used to. The pride in her work was making a ton of money, exploiting men. But that is what it is, right? I feel like that's due to being tainted by the evil in the world. You mean the evil in your heart, and the evil that I respond to daily. The evil that you respond to daily is your own thoughts, Chloe, and it's really sick. Looking back at some of the videos over this year, I feel like I've bordered bullying. You haven't bordered it, you are it. Rather than trying to dissect the real issues in why these things are happening, I insult toxic women rather than trying to change their perspectives, which is true. I mean, there's absolutely toxic women that you have attacked instead of trying to change their perspective, which is, a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. But the real culprit, the real toxic woman, the real blatant sick human being is you. Not only did you attack women, innocent women who actually were just asking questions, you also put out false allegations against your ex-boyfriend. You also continue to perpetuate these stereotypes. You generalize. You are equally as destructive as anybody else. And it's really sad that some people still don't see it. When you insult and bully people, you close the door for conversations and no change can ever be made. I know that's my goal my goals have always been right, which is money, and it's working. My intentions have always been pure, which is money, and, I would say that's not really pure, right? But my approach has not always been correct. How much am I really helping the gender divide when I'm not dissecting these issues or teaching people to feel empathy, understanding we perceive toxic? I'm not. I'm just making it worse. At least she's finally seeing it, right? Let's continue. Starting Monday, you're going to see different content from me, which we've already started to see, which is the wokeness. I feel like I owe you guys an apology. You owe everybody an apology, a lot of people apologies, especially Jari's mother. And I feel like in a way I have furthered the divide. People could call me a chameleon, which is true, all they want, but if I was just doing this for the money, I would have become a lawyer or a stripper. Sorry, you're not smart enough to become a lawyer, clearly. But stripper definitely would have worked. You tried your hand at porn, and then when that didn't really work out for you, you claimed it was revenge porn, which was bullshit because I was there for those conversations. You wanted to do porn alongside me and my ex-girlfriend. You wanted to do porn with your ex-boyfriend. You wanted that. You do porn, right? That's what you are. You do it. You still sell your nudes to these dudes. So what do you mean? That's what you became. You became an online stripper, right? And then you lied and put out false allegations against your ex-boyfriend. And just a quick editor's note on that the porn stuff here as well. Let's open up this screenshot right here. Okay, so Romani Greek Goddess was her old Instagram. And right here it says YouTube was Gypsy Magic. Okay, so as you can see there, Gypsy Magic, Chloe Ifram, that's her Instagram account, her old one. So if we jump over to her Reddit as well, which I saved from a little while ago, somebody was asking where her OnlyFans link is. And by the way, it's not OnlyFans from what I've seen. It's only the Patreon. But other people have claimed there's an OnlyFans, so I don't know. But this person says, last I knew she only had the Patreon account. And then this guy says she made one. And then down a little bit farther was this guy. All I know is her name was Gypsy Magic. As you can see from that previous screenshot, Gypsy Magic. You can see the lineup there. And then Angel says, yeah, it was, but her Pornhub account was scrubbed clean. So what happened to all that revenge porn, Chloe? What happened to the revenge porn? Why would you put out false allegations against a man who just did something the same as you did with consent? I would not be working every single day to better myself in the process. You haven't been better in the whole year. And even in the Facebook days, you haven't been better from then. You do this every single time you start to get backlash on a platform. I would have quit the moment my home and my cars got vandalized. I would have quit the moment my family's lives were threatened by credible threats. Did anybody actually see these threats? I haven't, but maybe somebody did. And I don't know if they were verified or not. Or when my ex released all of our old videos together as revenge porn. Bullshit. You were going as Gypsy Magic on Pornhub and you've scrubbed it. You scrubbed it. You still have porn pictures up there. We talked about this. We talked about makeup to cover your tattoos. We talked about a face mask to cover your face during these videos. We were going to hire you while we were trying to build our porn studio. Right? I hope those who hate me can stick around and see that I will be doing this 10 years from now and that this is my passion and my mission God has given me in this life. It's sad. This is really, really sad. And I hope people are finally waking up. And people have been giving her tons and tons of backlash in these comments on YouTube the last little while. So she decided to put out another response, and we're going to take a look at that too. So here we go. Some of you are rude in these YouTube community posts. I swear, laughing emoji. Like, are y'all okay? I swear I could be post a picture of a damn slice of bread and I'd have all y'all pressed. Lighten up a little bit. It's summer. I don't read my community post comments anymore for this reason, but when my friends are calling and asking if I'm okay, I think that's the time that I need to ask if you guys are okay. Let it all out. It's a safe place. Laughing emojis. So she just diminished a shit ton of people's feelings yet again. Like, come on, man. These people are voicing their concerns. They're pissed off. They're upset. You're generalizing people. You're attacking people. You're ripping people off. You're doing the same damn things that, you swear to fight against. Of course people are going to be upset in your comments. Of course people are going to voice their opinions, right? Of course. Absolutely. And you're just diminishing their feelings? What happened to men have feelings too? What happened to that? Or does it only apply when it's men having feelings about other women other than you? And the wokeness continues. Do you feel like you would have benefited from being raised gender neutral / gender creative, meaning nobody would have told you that you must act in a certain way / do certain things due to your gender? No. So here's the thing. Growing up, I played with dolls. I played with all kinds of stuff. And, nobody ever said, boys don't play with dollies. Boys don't play with that kind of stuff, right? Or you're a boy, go play in the dirt or anything like that. So, maybe I was raised semi-neutral, I guess, but this sort of stuff here, I wasn't referred to as they, them growing up. I wasn't referred to as non-binary or, I wasn't referred to as like not a boy. I was a boy. I was a man to be type of deal, right? Just like women, my sister was a woman to be, right? That's the way society works and should work. And then if I chose right now to be non-binary, or if I was non-binary, or if I was transgendered, or if I was bisexual, if I was homosexual, if I wanted to be, a lesbian, right? I feel like that should be accepted, absolutely, right? But I should have that choice once I'm old enough to understand the implications of, first of all, transitioning. How many transgendered people switch back to the gender that they were or refuse to get the surgeries because they're not too sure, right? And that's fine. That's whatever. That's for their business, right? But there is no damn reason that these children should be raised as, they, thems. They should be raised as the gender that they are born. And then if they decide later when they're old enough to understand, then they should change, right? And so it got a bunch of no's. So she had to, reiterate and double down again. What happens when we don't raise our children as gender creative? When we say to people, this is my boy or this is my girl, which would be the case, right? If it's a girl, it's a girl. If it's a boy, it's a boy, until they are old enough to understand and decide for themselves. Society immediately tries to deem how we treat them and how they should act. For example, a little boy is rarely told, you have such pretty shoes, or you are so sweet and pretty. What's up with you wanting to call boys pretty? Right? What's up with that? Right? You have pretty shoes? No, he has cool shoes. He has dope shoes. He has light up shoes. Even if they're pink and girly, those are dope shoes. Let him have those things, right? Why are you calling a little boy pretty? Why why do they need to be called pretty? Call them handsome. Call them a young man. Call them a stud, whatever, right? Boost their confidence, absolutely. But what does being pretty have to do with anything, right? For example, as a little boy is really told you have such pretty shoes. I already read that part. Boys get different comments from adults such as, you're so brave, or wow, that's a strong little boy. That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. That's reinforcing that that boy is going to grow up and be a strong man and a good man. And these comments typically need to come from a father figure, right? These type of things here come from a father who's teaching their young boy to be a good man, right? You don't need to call them pretty to do that, right? It automatically shoves them into gender roles, right? And gender roles are real, right? They are absolutely real. Some people still want those traditional gender roles, men and women, right? Some men still want a wife to stay home, cook, clean, care for the children while they go out and make all the money. Some men don't want that. Some men want to be stay-at-home fathers, whatever, who cares? But that's their choice as adults, right? When you're a young lad or a young girl, you are part of these gender roles until you decide otherwise. And teaching these children to be good men and women is not a bad thing, right? Shoves them into gender roles and gender boxes that they shouldn't even have to be worrying about at that young age. So you're going to call them a they, them, and just confuse them while they go to school and their classmates are little boys and girls and they're a they, them, and they don't know. And everybody else is going to be like, actually, you're a boy. And they're going to be like, no, I'm not a boy. And then what? And then what? You're just going to confuse the shit out of them for no reason, right? These gender roles includes telling boys to man up, which right here is one of the things that I don't agree with, right? We shouldn't be telling these little boys just to man up and not to cry, right? Men cry, boys cry. It is what it is. Men have emotions, absolutely. But I don't know why you're even talking about emotions on men, Chloe, when you just diminished them like 5 minutes ago, right? Being the man of the house, if the dad isn't around, even back to our sayings, men are more than dicks and piggy banks, except you use men as dicks and piggy banks because you go hopping dick to dick to dick to dick. I guess you're on a clit now, but still, right? Dick to dick to dick, no time in between, no time to process or heal. Like, what do you mean? That's exactly what men are to you. They're literally a fleshy dildo and a piggy bank. Come on now. It put women into classes of having to be sweet and dainty, or that they should learn to clean rather than exploring and getting messy. I never met a single girl who was a child who wasn't damn messy. Ketchup all over their face and dirt on their hands, just like the boys. Nobody is doing this. Children are allowed to do what they want to do, and children do what children do, right? Doesn't mean she's not a girl and can't be put in a dress when they need to go out somewhere nice, right? Or he can't be put, the little boy can't be put in a tux when they have to go out somewhere nice. Like, this is bullshit. Stop being fucking woke, right? I'm a little bit woke too, and I'm saying this. Like, come on now.